What's up guys, this is Shukesh Bonik once again, and today I'll be doing a quick comparison in between these two smartphones here. On my left I have the MI Redmi 2 Prime, which is priced at around 6,999 rupees, that is $110 US. This is one of the best value for money devices because the specs of this phone are actually very close to the 13,000 rupees Motorola Moto G 3rd generation I have on my right hand side. This 2015 version of Moto G is selling like hotcakes on Flipkart in India and also around the world. The price of this phone is almost double the price of the Redmi 2 Prime, but the specs are very close to each other. I'll talk about all of this step by step and draw my final conclusion which one you should get. The look and feel of these two devices are very different, and this Redmi 2 Prime is basically the first ever Xiaomi phone made in India. The Moto G I have here is assembled in China. The build quality of both the phones are very solid and feels great in hand. In fact, the Moto G I have here is IPX7 certified water resistant. Let's first talk about the similarities in between these two phones, and I'll start from the display over here. Both the phones feature IPS panels with HD, that is 720p resolution displays, and the screen size of the Moto G is 5 inches, whereas you have got slightly smaller 4.7 inches display on the Redmi 2 Prime. As a result, the PPI of the Redmi 2 Prime is excellent 312, whereas you have got slightly lower 294 PPI on the Moto G3, but there is no visible difference of course. Both the displays are very high resolution for the price, and if you ask me, I'll go for Redmi 2 Prime because as you can see, the viewing angles of the Moto G3's display is not great. If you have seen the Moto G3 versus the Galaxy J5 comparison, then you must already know the G3's display angles are much inferior to the Super AMOLED on the Galaxy J5. There is Corning Gorilla Glass 3 on the G3, and I'm not sure what is on the Redmi 2 Prime. Better use a screen guard for this. From the front, Moto G3's display look great, almost similar to the display of the Redmi 2 Prime. Other important similarities are both the phones pack huge 2GB of RAM and 16GB of storage. Both are 4G enabled and take dual micro SIM cards. There is Qualcomm Snapdragon 410 chipset, Cortex A53 processor, and Adreno 306 GPU on both the phones. Only the clock speed is slightly higher on the Moto G3. You have got 1.36 GHz quad-core processor, whereas Redmi 2 Prime packs 1.21 GHz quad-core processor, which is around 10 or 11% slower. The GPU is the same, and as I mentioned, the RAM and storage are also same, but there is a slight difference in the space. You have got 12.64 GB on the Redmi 2 Prime and 11.92 GB on the Moto G3. The available RAM at this moment is 923 MB on the Redmi 2 Prime, which is more than enough, and you have got 1275 MB on the Moto G3, which is really impressive. The Android version on the Redmi 2 Prime is KitKat 4.4.4. The Lollipop update is on the way. You have got the latest 5.1.1 Lollipop on the Moto G3. Now regarding battery, both the phones offer excellent battery backup. I'm getting around 2 full days on both the phones, but I think the Moto G3 is offering slightly better battery performance sometimes, but overall I'll say both are very close, and as you know, the Moto G3's battery is non-removable. There is no considerable overheating of the batteries during gaming on both the phones, and I feel that the heat management of the Moto G3 is slightly better. There you get the sensors. Moto G3 has got all the sensors and some added ones. For few interesting gestures this Moto G3 features, I'll talk about those in the later part of this review, so be with me. Overall, the specs and the features of these two phones are very close to each other instead of the huge price gap. Well guys, now let's talk about the dissimilarities, and first of all I'll compare the exterior design. The thickness of the Redmi 2 Prime is 9mm and the Moto G's thickness is 11.6mm. The build quality, the look of these two phones are completely different, and I think both are very good looking for their price. I personally feel Moto G3 looks slightly better. It's also water resistant, as I mentioned before. You can immerse this phone into 3 feet of fresh water for up to 30 minutes, so that's a big deal, I'll say. The main difference in between these two phones is in the camera department. You have got 5 megapixel front camera on the Moto G3 with full HD recording and 2 megapixel camera with HD recording on the Redmi 2 Prime. The rear camera on the Moto G3 is also 13 megapixel with full HD recording, and the 8 megapixel camera on the Redmi 2 Prime can also record in full HD. I will talk about the quality later. You have got secondary microphone on both the phones and OTG enabled micro USB ports at the bottom. The power and volume keys are on the left. All the keys are nicely chrome finished, and the power key is below the volume rocker on the Redmi 2 Prime. There is nothing at the right side, and though I have the white variant of the Redmi 2 Prime, you have got totally black front look. There is proximity and ambient light sensors on both the phones, and additionally there is a multicolored LED notification light on the Redmi 2 Prime, which you can program to show different colors for different notifications, which is very handy. Unfortunately, Motorola removed that from the Motorola G3, but you get Moto Display, which is a unique way to show notifications. You can tap and hold on the notification bubbles and swipe up to read or go to the notifications. Check my dedicated Moto G3 reviews to know more. Now the interface on the Moto G3 is the stock Android, but you have got MIUI interface on the Redmi 2 Prime. It's actually MIUI 6, and a customized user interface always make devices more user friendly and beautiful. On the other hand, stock interfaces are very intuitive and fast. In addition to that, Motorola included some nice gestures like twist your hand to open the camera and make a karate chop to trigger the torch at the back. To make the device more user-friendly, there are some Motorola applications like Motorola Migrate and Motorola Assist. Motorola Assist actually helps you in managing your profile, and I have already talked about the Moto Display. You can automatically control your sound profile when you are sleeping or in a meeting. So these are very handy. On the other hand, the MIUI 6 interface is very simple but customized for your better experience. For example, in the multitasking window, if you just swipe down your recent applications, you can lock. That is, when you close all the running applications, this locked application will remain. I think all the brands should include this feature. Check my separate Redmi 2 Prime videos to know more about these smart features. Now there is another handy application into this Xiaomi device. There is a security application with all the important settings to manage your device, and you won't need a separate app cleaner. You can clear the cache, your temporary files, and even scan the whole device for viruses, malware and adware. Though the screen of the Redmi 2 Prime is smaller, there is a one-handed screen option for better one-handed uses. If you have a very small hand, then you can use this feature and shrink the whole display to your right and left. As the navigation keys are on the body of the Xiaomi phone, the whole display can be used by applications, whereas most of the applications and few games cannot use the whole display of the Moto G3 because of the on-screen keys. So the actual display size of the G3 is more or less same as this Redmi 2 Prime. Now I will do a quick speed test in between these two phones, and as the Moto G3 is running on stock Android, you will see it's slightly faster than this Redmi 2 Prime. First I'll try the dialer, and as you can see, Moto G3 is considerably faster. Next let's check the messaging app. Again, Moto G 3rd generation is quicker, and this is the beauty of stock Android. You get what you want at the very moment. The camera is also visibly faster, and if you can live with this slight lag, then in the gaming or in the benchmark there is not huge difference in the performance of these two phones. Let me compare the Antutu 5 benchmark. On the MI Redmi 2 Prime you have got 20,547, and the Moto G 3rd generation scores 23,766. So not that much difference here, and in the high-end applications you will not feel that much difference, but still this is a win for the Moto G3. And in the Nino Mark II you will see that the FPS is also slightly higher on the Moto G 3rd generation. So again, a narrow win for the Motorola device. But considering the price point, I think this Redmi 2 Prime has put the Moto G3 to shame. For only 7,000 rupees you get almost the same specs as this 13,000 rupees phone. But as I mentioned before, the camera is the main difference in between these two devices here. The front camera of the Redmi 2 Prime is just pathetic. I am not happy with that, but the rear camera is not bad. For a 7,000 rupees phone, it's decent, but again not as good as the rear camera of the Moto G3. In low light, the Xiaomi phone struggles a lot, and in good lighting condition, for example in sunlight, it produces very good quality images. The front camera is the main weak point. The 5 megapixel camera on the Moto G3 is also not great, but much better than this Redmi 2 Prime. Well, this camera is not that bad, as good as any other device in the same price tag, if not better, and comparing this with the Moto G3 is actually not fair. There are a couple of camera options and modes on both the phones. There you get a slow-mo option on the Moto G3, which is very interesting. Redmi 2 Prime packs some high-end camera features which are very handy sometimes. Well guys, we are almost at the end of this comparison review, and overall this Redmi 2 Prime has put up a great fight against this Moto G3. If you are tight on budget, then this is a damn good device to buy. Don't worry about the camera, it's actually quite nice. You will not be disappointed, but it's obviously not as good as the Moto G3's camera. If you can spend 13,000 rupees, then go for the Moto G 3rd generation. This is an all-in-one device. You get slightly better CPU, better camera, water resistant body, and the Motorola brand, which ensures faster Android updates. So it's up to you which one you like most. This is the end of this comparison review. I hope that you have found this video very helpful. Please consider subscribing and keeping in touch. I will be uploading more videos on both the devices, and check the description below for the buying links of these two phones. I will get a small commission if you buy these phones from the links in the description, so please do so. In this way you can support Gadgets Portal to continue helping you with this type of videos. Well, that's all for now. Thanks a lot for watching. Keep in touch and please don't forget to subscribe.